Well, I think that for me the most important thing is to build on the fact that we're having a job summit, and that is to try and get a consensus out of as many people as we can in the room that the nation has an obligation to rebuild the manufacturing infrastructure of the country so that we start growing manufacturing back to its traditional position in the economy of between 20 and 24% of the gross domestic product. Right now it's below 10%. And the reality of that is that you can't create real wealth in the nation if you're not making things. So one of the things that I want to talk about and will talk about, even if people have to restrain me, is to talk about needing to enforce the trade laws. But I also want to talk about the trade laws are already too weak. We went to a case on coated free sheet paper. We won the case on subsidy from China, but the trade tribunal said it was an injury. Well, we've now lost 7,000 jobs since then, so now we're going to go back and say, now there's injury. Well, that's crazy. We showed that they were violating the rules, and so we had to wait till we actually lost jobs to get the rules enforced. That's asinine. So we're going to talk about that. And there's going to be a lot of folks like myself and economists that say, to quote a CEO, having no strategy is not a strategy, and so that we need a strategy. I was amazed the other night where even the president of National Association of Manufacturers complained that when he was the governor of Michigan, you had to operate on a regional basis. There was no national strategy, so if you wanted to do something, you had to figure out how to do it on a regional basis. Well, if you think of that, if that was no national direction, that'd be 50 different strategies going in 50 different directions if every state was doing its own thing. That doesn't happen in Germany, doesn't happen in France, doesn't happen in Sweden, doesn't happen in Denmark, doesn't happen in Japan, doesn't happen in Korea, and doesn't happen in China. They've all got a national direction that they all want to go in, whether it's infrastructure, whether it's fixing their highways. Just recently I read about France has now contracted out for projects for over the next 20 years to modernize its railway system. I would be happy to get the railway system France has now. France is investing now for the railway system it wants in 2020, 2025, and 2030, and is giving out contracts over 5 and 10 and 15 years on a national basis. We don't have any real discussion going on in America about a high-speed rail system between highly populated corridors. Let me tell you, I would much rather take a train that could get me to Washington in a couple of hours than the way I have to go there when I drive or fly. Imagine if you could take people and put them on high-speed trains between Philadelphia, New York City, Boston, Washington, Baltimore to pick that route. Imagine how many cars you could take off the highway, how much carbon you'd take out of the air, and how many jobs you'd create.